dropping on the right, trying to get it in, and the weight shifts, the weight definitely shifts. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of InstacarHK. Today we're reviewing this 1968 Jaguar 420G. It started off life as the Jaguar Mark 10 in 1961, exactly the same year as when the legendary E-Type was released, which meant that not only did it benefit from a similarly sleek design, it also benefited from using the exact same engine as the E-Type. So in the beginning, it used the 3.8-liter inline-six carbureted engine. And later in the production, when Jaguar renamed the Mark 10 to this 420G, it also used the 4.2-liter engine, just like the later E-Types. Now, when Jaguar first released this car, they had two purposes. One, they wanted to compete in the luxury saloon market, along with Rolls Royce, Bentley, and even Mercedes. And secondly, they really wanted to enter the US market, which explains the size. One has to remember, back in the 60s, Jaguar were releasing rather compact cars like the E-Type or Mark II, and this is huge. This was for the longest time the largest car Jaguar ever released. However, even then, for the US market, it still wasn't big enough because your Cadillacs, Oldsmobiles were all tanks, inches wider and longer than the 420G. However, Jaguar actually never succeeded in either of those purposes, which in the end meant they only made 20,000 of these between the production period from 1961 to 1970. Now that may sound like a lot, but one must remember Jaguar made a few times of that number with the E-Type during a similar period. What Jaguar did achieve, however, probably unintentionally, was this car gained the reputation of being a London gangster car. Back then, in the 60s, London gangsters loved using the Jaguar Mark 10 or 420G as their go-to car, including the notorious Kray brothers, as depicted in Tom Hardy's movie Legend. They were famous for using the Jaguar 420G to do their dirty deeds. Apparently, gangsters at the time loved the sinister look of this car, which you can't blame them. Look at the sleek and low-slung design. And they also enjoyed the practicality of the car, including its very large boot, which was very good for carrying illegal goods, stolen goods, and dead bodies. Now, apparently, the 420G handles a lot better than it looks, so let's find out. Now it's time to deliver the dead body in the boot. So to start, this car is actually very similar as the E-Type, as you would expect. So all your buttons and starters, everything is at the middle. So the key, just like the E-Type, you turn it to right and there's a starter button. So as there's a carburetor car, you gotta give it a few gas and then press the starter button and you're off. And let's go. So once you get going, this car is actually not that big. It's smaller than it looks from the outside because, first of all, as I always say, these classic cars are actually nothing near as big as the cars we're used to today. And also, it's from an era where the wing mirrors are actually on the front wings of the car. So, which is kind of cool, and it also helps you indicate how wide your car is because the wing mirrors are right at the side of the two front wings. The interior of the car is something worth mentioning because Jaguar really wanted to compete in the luxury saloon market when they released this car. And you can immediately tell, aside from all the leather which you would expect, the car interior is full of wood. I mean, you can see wood as far as the eye can see. I read somewhere that there are 48 panels of wood in this one interior, which is quite remarkable. And also quite cute about this car's interior is at the rear, they have these airplane-like tables which flip down for, having lunch or checking stolen diamonds or whatever back in the London days. Given this is supposed to be a luxury saloon, I actually quite enjoy the automatic that this car has. Yes, it's 3-speed, so it's a bit longer gears, but that's what you do in these cars. You just cruise around as I'm doing now. And this gearbox is actually doing quite well. It's quite smooth, doesn't draw attention to itself. The steering is obviously not your Lotus-like steering. There's a lot of play, but it is what it is for. The ride is quite comfortable, as it should be, but later we'll see how wobbly it is, when we get to speed. So online articles say that this car actually handles better than in period luxurious saloons like the Rolls Royce and Bentleys. So let's find out. And frankly, I'm not that confident. I'm going brake. The brakes are okay, I'm not doing too fast, and I'm turning in and it's wobbly. It is not solid or it didn't give any surprises. You turn in, you do feel yourself dropping on the right, trying to get it in. And the weight shifts, the weight definitely shifts. So no, unfortunately, no surprises of it handling, like a normal car. But who cares? After all, you're not really supposed to be speeding these cars like these around Sheco anyway. But we found that out. After getting some seat time, it could be both a chauffeur-driven car and a driver's car. So people looking into the luxurious saloon market, after reviewing this today, turns out it's not only the Rolls Royce and Bentleys that you have to look at. And the older Jaguars are a good choice. Mechanically, it's likely a lot less to maintain than your in-period Rolls Royce, or any Rolls Royce for that matter. And looks-wise, I mean, come on, you can't deny, looking back now, this car looks pretty awesome. Like, it's a very cool looking car. Much more rare, much more special than your Rolls Royce Shadow, for example. Interestingly, although Jaguar only made 20,000 units of the Mark 10 and the 420G, Corgi Toys actually sold 1.1 million model cars of them, which shows how popular this car was actually in period. Wait, the German! Hang on, sorry, I gotta do this. But if you like this video, please give us a like, please subscribe. Please don't forget to click the bell button next to the subscribe button so you know when our next video is coming soon. Thank you. Goodbye.